Hello students, good morning. In this session of class, I am going to derive two more derivations related in a chapter called atom. In the previous video, I have derived already two derivations. One is related to the radius of the atom, and the second one is the velocity of the electron revolving in the stationary orbit. So, to derive the next derivation, that is energy of the orbital electron, you have to remember the final expression for velocity and radius. So that's why I want to recall that formula, expression for orbital radius, orbital radius. It means the radius of the nth stationary orbit. The radius of the nth stationary orbit. To write that one, Rn is equal to, there is a formula, it is epsilon naught n square h square divided by pi m z e square. So this equation clearly says that, suppose if this is the nucleus and this is the first orbit of the electron, whose value n is equal to 1, and this is the next orbit whose value n is equal to 2. So like this is the center called the nucleus. The whole mass of the atom is concentrated as a positive charge. The charge of the nucleus is plus Ze. The nucleus contains protons. The nucleus contains protons positively charged, and the electrons are revolving in its own orbit. This is first orbit, second orbit, like this. So according to this equation, this is the orbit of the first one, radius of the first orbit, and this is the radius of the second orbit. The value of radius is directly proportional to square of the principal quantum number, where n is known as principal quantum number. N is an integer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. N is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. Similarly, since the electron is moving with certain speed, so we have taken the speed v. V is the orbital velocity of the stationary orbit of the electron. Vn is equal to, the formula for Vn is, its value should be equal to Z e square divided by 2 pi nh. Z e square divided by 2 pi nh is the formula. According to this formula, the speed is inversely proportional to the principal quantum number. Here the speed is higher compared to this one. If the orbital radius goes on increases, the speed of the electron goes on decreases. So that is the representation of these two equations. So these two derivations are very important. The derivation I already derived in the previous video. So you have to practice those derivations, and the derivations are important for the examination. So just here in this session, I have taken the final equation for orbital radius and orbital velocity of the electron revolving in its stationary path or stationary orbit. Clear? So today I am going to derive the expression for energy of electron in a stationary orbit. So energy of electron in a stationary orbit. So to derive the expression for energy of electron in a stationary orbit, so let us consider Bohr's first postulates for an atom. According to Bohr's first postulates, the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a stationary orbit. So to get the stationary orbit, it must satisfy centripetal force should be equal to centrifugal force, isn't it? So centrifugal force is M. So I will write from Bohr's first postulates. So what is Bohr's first postulates? The atom should have a stationary orbits where the electrons can revolve without radiating any energy. So for that one, mv square divided by r is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into charge 1 is plus z, charge 2 is minus e. So you know the method of taking Coulomb's inverse square law, you have to take the magnitude of the charges. So even it is an electron, we have to take their magnitude. E is plus Z into E into E is E square divided by square of the distance. So that distance is orbital radius. So here I am going to modify this equation, multiplying both sides by half, and you can cancel this 1r. So multiplying by half on both sides. So you get half m v square, because this r1 get cancels in between RHS and LHS, which is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into z e square divided by r only, because r get cancels once. So you know that this is the formula for kinetic energy. So since kinetic energy is represented by E k, you consider kinetic energy, E k is equal to half m v square. So this is the formula for kinetic energy of the electron revolving around the nucleus. Therefore, E k becomes, so according to this formula, half 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into z e square divided by r is the kinetic energy. Say this is the equation number 1. You know the formula for potential energy of the charge. So what is the formula for potential energy? Charge into potential difference. Charge into potential difference. Generally, if I want to consider potential energy E is equal to Q into V, potential difference. I am using this concept. Charge into potential difference. Which is the charge here? Electron is the charge. And what is the potential due to this positively charged? So you know that, we know that. What is the formula for potential? U is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. This derivation you already done in the chapter number 2. Electric potential and capacitors, there you already derived this one. U is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into charge. Charge is plus Z divided by only distance. That is the difference between potential and electric field. For field it is charge 1 into charge 2 divided by charge 1. Charge 2 is test charge. Charge divided by distance square. For potential it is charge by distance only, not distance square. Because potential may be positive, 0 or negative. But the field is always positive. That's why you are getting here this square. But for the potential it is always R only, not square. So charge by distance. This is the formula for potential. So if I multiply this potential difference with the charge, we will get the energy. That energy is potential energy. Therefore, potential energy EP, I will consider EP is equal to product of charge and potential difference. Potential or potential, we can multiply it by this one. So this is 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into Z E into minus E. Minus E is minus only, because while taking potential we have to take minus only. If it is field, you can take. If it is Coulomb's inverse square law, whether it may be electron, you can take the magnitude, that's it. So here it will become minus E. You minus E into E is E square, that's why I taken minus here. Since the charge is minus Q is equal to minus E, that's why I have taken. So Z E square divided by distance. See the difference between these two. You are getting almost say 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon into Z E square by R. Here it is I forgot to write half. So multiplying both sides by half means here it is half is there now. Half is there. So that's why this the formula becomes Ek is equal to half into 1 by 4 pi epsilon into Z E square by R. See, generally we got that we have a standard formula. In that we can clearly say that the potential energy is always 2 times the kinetic energy, and potential energy is always negative because it is restoring value. Potential means it is the restoring energy, that's why it is always negative. See the difference between these two? So exactly same, but if it is 1 by 2, it is there is no 1 by 2. It means potential energy is 2 times the kinetic energy. Potential energy is 2 times the kinetic energy. Since this electron is revolving in its own orbit or stationary orbit, they have not only kinetic energy, they have also potential energy, because the total energy, mechanical energy is always conserved. So with that, the total energy of the orbital electron will be total energy is equal to sum of kinetic energy and potential energy, you know. So let us consider total energy is E. Sum of kinetic energy is half into half 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, half into 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into Z E square divided by R. This is first term, plus is there in the formula. Here it is minus. Potential energy is minus. So minus 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into Z E square divided by R. This is the second term. You know that plus into minus is minus only. So the total energy becomes E is equal to, so common factor 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Z E square by R, 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Z E square divided by R is common factor. So plus into minus is minus. Plus into minus is minus, and this is plus. So this becomes 1 by 2 minus 1. Clear now? So here it is 1 by 2, here it is 1. 1 by 2 minus 1 is minus 1 by 2. Half minus 1 is minus half only. So that will become E is equal to minus 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into Z E square divided by R into 1 by 2. 4 2s 8. So then the formula becomes E is equal to minus Z E square divided by 4 2s 8 pi epsilon naught into R. Say it is equation number 3. Now we know that what is the formula for orbital radius? We know that this is already derived in the first derivation of Bohr's atomic model. There, the first derivation is, we know that orbital radius, I will consider orbital radius of nth electron. It means R is equal to, this is the formula for orbital radius, epsilon naught n square h square divided by pi mz e square, pi mz e square. You know what is epsilon naught? Permittivity of free space. N is principal quantum number, h is Planck's constant. After writing this derivation, you have to write this explanation of the terms. M is mass of the electron, Z is the atomic number, and E is the charge of the electron. So in the next step, what we have to do, you give this as equation number 4. Substitute equation 4 in 5. I mean 4 in equation number 3. Substituting equation 4 in equation number 3. Substituting equation number 4, in equation number 3, we get the next step. Energy E is equal to minus Z E square divided by 8 pi epsilon naught into R. R is replaced by equation number 4. So then in the next step we have to write like this. So I will directly take the reciprocal of this because R is in the denominator. So after multiplication it will become reciprocal. Pi m z e square divided by pi mz e square divided by epsilon naught n square h square. Epsilon naught n square h square. Clear now? So in the next step, let us take E is equal to z into z square minus z square e to the power of 4. E to the power of 4. Pi get cancels. M single term mz square e to the power of 4 I will take. Divided by the remaining term is 8 epsilon naught square n square h square. So this is the final formula for energy in the nth orbit, because here it is n. It means energy is again inversely proportional to square of the principal quantum number. So from that, if I substitute all the values, En is equal to m is constant. For hydrogen atom, Z is also constant 1. Charge of electron is also constant. So if I want to substitute all the values, m is 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31. Z is 1 for hydrogen atom. Charge of electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. Whole to the power of 4. Here it is. Mass of electron is 1 only. 8 into epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 to the power of minus 12 whole square into number of electron in n value is n only. H is 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 34 whole square. So by substituting all the values, we will get the answer in joules. While converting from joules to electron volts, you have to divide it by 1.6 in 10 to the power of minus 19. This will become 10 to the power of 3. So the final answer is minus 13.6 electron volts divided by n square. So this value is in electron volts. This is n orbit. So this is the formula which helps to find the energy of the orbital electron. So in the first orbit, so this is the first orbit, ground state, its value is minus 13.6 electron. If I take n is equal to 1, it is minus 13.6. If n is 1, it is called ground state energy. If n is equal to 2, it is 2 square is 4. 13.6 divided by 4. If I calculate 13.6 divided by 4, we will get an answer of 3.4. This is the next step. 3.4 minus 3.4 electron. If I take n is equal to 3, minus 13.6 divided by 9 you will get. So then the value is 1.5. So the value is 1.5. So this is what the value. 1 minus 1.5 electron. Again, if I take n is equal to 4 divided by 16, the value becomes minus 0.8. So this is what the value. Minus 0.8 electron. Like this. This is ground state energy. This is the first excited state. This is second excited state. This is third, etc. If the energy required to transfer from one state to another state, it is called excited state energy, excitation energy. If the energy removed the electron from its own orbit to the infinity, out of the atom, that is called ionization energy. So that is the difference between excitation energy and ionization energy. If the energy required to transfer electron from one state into another state, it is ionization energy. or excitation energy. If the energy required to remove the electron from the orbit to out of the atom, it is called ionization energy. Excitation is one state to another state. So that is the difference between ionization energy and excitation energy. These are the different energy levels present in an atom. This is the ground state energy. Minus 13.6 electron volt is the ground state energy of the electron. Clear now? So with that I am going to continue the next derivation, that will be So welcome back once again. So now I am going to continue the next derivation, that is line spectra of hydrogen atom. So that is what we call them as wave number. Line spectra of hydrogen atom. Or it is also called as wave number, expression for wave number. So this formula you already familiar about this wave number. 1 by lambda is equal to Rydberg constant into 1 by nf square minus 1 by ni square. You already derived. You already familiar about that formula. Now with the help of energy and Bohr's third postulates, I am going to derive that formula which can help us to find the wave number for different spectral lines. Spectral series you are discussed. Lyman series, Balmer series, Brackett series, Fund series. So these are all the different spectral series. To get that spectral series, we want a wave number formula. So that was derived by Balmer, isn't it? So to derive that formula, line spectra of hydrogen atom, let us use from Bohr's third postulates. Now what is Bohr's third postulates? When an electron jumps from its own orbit to the nearby orbit, it can radiate energy. If it is jumped from higher energy to lower, emit the energy. Lower energy to higher energy, absorb the energy. So that is according to Bohr's third postulates. The radiation of energy is due to the transmission of electrons from its orbits to the nearby orbits. So according to that, from Bohr's third postulates, let us consider E is the energy, which is equal to h mu. So the transition takes place from final state to initial state, I will consider Ei minus Ef. Ei is the energy in the first state, Ef is the energy in the final state, which is equal to h mu. This is according to third postulate. He has used quantum nature of energy. So h is Planck's constant, mu is the frequency of radiation, isn't it? So we know that the formula for energy already derived in the previous equation or previous derivation. Their energy of nth orbit E is equal to, what is the formula for energy? Minus mz square e to the power of 4, mz square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square n square h square. This is the formula for energy. Suppose if I consider for hydrogen atom, what is the value of Z? For hydrogen atom, the value of Z is equal to 1. Then the energy of nth orbit, since hydrogen having only one electron, so E1 we will consider, n is also 1. So I will consider minus mz square to the power of 4. Generally I will consider here minus, for hydrogen atom Z is 1. Generally if I consider Z value may be any value depending upon the atom. So m minus mz square e to the power of 4. So z value is 1 here. M e to the power of 4 whole divided by. So I will consider general formula first, and then I will at the end I will consider for hydrogen atom. De Broglie Rydberg constant for hydrogen atom. Now I want to substitute all the values. Ei means Ni. Ef means Nf. The rest of all other quantities are remains constant. So therefore minus m z square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught. N becomes Nf square h square minus of minus plus. Here it is minus, here it is minus, minus of minus plus. M z square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square n f square. It means it is initial Ni square divided by. So we have to consider final value minus initial value. Nf minus Ni. It will become Ni. It is Nf and this is Ni. Ni. Final to initial. Initial. Okay. Now it is initial and this one is final only. So this becomes Ni and this is Nf. Clear? Which is equal to h nu. H nu. What is nu? C by lambda. Since nu is equal to C by lambda, take this. So the formula becomes hc by lambda. Hc by lambda is equal to, in the right hand side I will take this as the first and this is the second term. We take the common factor. So except Ni and Nf, all other quantities are similar in these two terms. So that's why I want to write this first. M z square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square. N h square is the h square is here. It will become h square. The first term is, this is the first term, 1 by nf square minus 1 by n I square. Clear now? See, I want 1 by lambda because 1 by lambda is the wave number. H is constant, C is constant, transfer to right hand side. In the next step, we can also write 1 by lambda is equal to m z square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 c epsilon naught square h cube, because h into h square is h cube, c as it is, into 1 by nf square minus 1 by ni square. It means transaction from initial state to final state. That difference is the emitted radiation energy. So in the next step, we can consider 1 by lambda is wave number. So 1 by lambda is wave number, which is also represented as nu bar, which is equal to. So the value is m z square e to the power of 4, m z square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught 8c epsilon naught square h cube into 1 by n f square minus 1 by n I square. It means transaction from initial state to final state. So see here, for hydrogen atom, now I will consider for hydrogen atom. Z is equal to 1. Then let us assume Rydberg constant R. There is a constant R which is equal to m. Z is 1 e to the power of 4 divided by 8c epsilon naught square h2. See, all these values are constant. M is mass of electron constant, charge of electron, 8 number, C is speed of light in air or vacuum, epsilon naught is also a constant, H is also a constant. So this is what the Rydberg constant. To calculate Rydberg constant, R is equal to M value 8 point, mass of electron 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31, charge of electron 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 whole to the power of 4 whole divided by 8 into 3 into 10 to the power of 8 into 8.854 into 10 to the power of minus 12 whole square into 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 34 whole to the power of 3. After calculating this is for hydrogen atom. If I consider helium atom, Z is equal to 4. I mean Z is equal to 2. For helium atom, Z is equal to 2. You take any atom, the respective Z value you can take. This is the Rydberg constant for hydrogen atom. So the value of Rydberg constant for hydrogen atom is 1.0967. 1.0967 into 10 to the power of 7. So since it is measured in 1 by lambda, 1 by lambda is per meter. Wave number is in per meter. This is the Rydberg constant for hydrogen atom after calculating this value. So finally, the wave number formula, general formula, nu bar, which is also represented as nu bar. 1 by lambda is nothing but nu bar, is equal to this collectively called as a Rydberg constant, where R is called Rydberg constant, R into 1 by n f square minus 1 by n I square. So this is the formula, you already familiar about this, because we already discussed different spectral series. The first spectral series invented is Balmer series. Actually, in an order, Lyman series is the first one. The first invented series is Balmer series. Lyman series is the spectral lines belongs to UV region. Balmer series is the spectral lines belongs to visible region of the electromagnetic spectrum. So Balmer, after Balmer, Lyman, Balmer, Paschen, bracket, Fund. So these last three series belongs to infrared region. So near, middle and far infrared regions they are discussed. So for Lyman series, NF is 1. For Balmer series, NF is 2. The next series, Paschen 3, bracket 4, Fund 5. So the next number is I value, initial value. So like this. So this is initial value, N is 1. Lyman series. If the transaction takes place from higher energy into first one, Lyman series. These are all the Lyman series. So Lyman series transaction. So we can get Lyman series. So if the transaction ends to second one, Balmer series. So like this, different energy levels are there. So the Balmer series, Lyman series, Balmer series. If the transaction ends to third state, Lyman, Balmer, Paschen. Fourth state, bracket, fifth state, Fund series. So these are the different series of spectral lines that I am going to explain in the next video. So here you have to remember, this is one of the important derivation and important formula. So whatever the formulas I was written here, so you have to remember the final formula also, because in the competitive examinations like CET, IIT, NEET examinations, to solve any numericals, you have to remember the final formula. So without the final formula, you are not supposed to answer for any numericals in the competitive examination. That's why I am telling you have to remember this formula: radius of nth orbit, orbital electron, the speed of orbital electron, the energy of the orbital electron, and also the wave number, and you have to remember the Rydberg constant formula also. So generally it is mz square to the power of 1. So this is for I am writing for hydrogen atom. So here, if I consider z square, so that is a general Rydberg constant for any atom. So this is for hydrogen atom, because z is 1 for hydrogen atom. So whatever the derivation I was done in this video, these two are also very important derivations. See, you can remember I already derived 4 derivations, 2 from the previous video, 2 from here. The first derivation is orbital radius. The second derivation is orbital velocity. The third derivation is the orbital energy of the stationary electron. I mean the orbital radius of orbital energy of the electron which is revolving in the stationary orbit, and the last one is wave number, and also derivation for Rydberg constant. So these derivations are very, very important for the examination. See, you can understand by watching this video once or twice, and you can clearly clarify. If you have any doubts, you can directly text me or you can directly call me. I will clarify your doubts. No need to worry about that. But the thing is, so you have to write and practice these derivations. So in the examination, you have to write, that's why. So you have to write and practice derivation. So with that, I am going to end this video, in this session of the class. In the next class, I am going to end this topic, atom. Only one video is enough to complete this topic. So dear students, after understanding this video, the written notes has to be sent to my personal number. So in the next video, I am going to end this topic, atom. Thank you for watching this video.